Hey you, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. So in today's video, we are going to be going over my June budget. It's going to be a very short and sweet video because I am recording this on Memorial Day weekend and we got a lot of things to do. So if you celebrated yesterday, I hope you enjoyed the holiday. And if you celebrate tomorrow, I hope you enjoy your holiday. So let's jump right into it. So for the month of June, we have a few things coming up. So to start with the income, for our paychecks, we are going to be setting aside $5,880.02 and then $119.98 for my YouTube business. So for a total of $6,000 for the month of June. So my husband and I decided that we would start saving. For those of you who are new, my husband is starting med school in the end of July and he's going to be graduating in 2027. So that is actually our 10-year anniversary for our marriage. So I just asked him, I'm like, what if we go to Bora Bora? Because Bora Bora, we were supposed to go there for our wedding honeymoon. But when I was looking into it for our honeymoon, it was just way too expensive on top of our wedding. So I asked hubby the other day, like, hey, what do you think about going to Bora Bora to celebrate our 10-year wedding anniversary, as well as like a med school graduation gift for you, like just to celebrate all the things. And we just put them together since they're going to happen about the same time frame. And he said yes. So we're going to start putting away $125 per paycheck to start saving up. Bora Bora is probably going to cost us somewhere between $10,000 to $12,000 to go on the trip. So yeah, and it's going to be like an all-inclusive thing because I'm going through Costco travel. If you didn't know, Costco does have like a travel kind of like section where they offer travel packages, all-inclusive. So it would be 7 days, 7 nights, and airfare included. And I would pick I'll pop a picture up, but it'll be basically via over the water and have like an infinity pool and things like that. Like that's what I'm going for. So that's why it's going to be so expensive. So if we start saving now, then, as you can see, it's not that bad. So we're going to start saving for that. So 125 savings for Bora Bora. And then that brings us down to $5,875 remaining in our budget. Moving on to monthly expenses. Our mortgage is $1,965.97. Childcare is $57 a month. Water and trash, I'm budgeting $135. Electric, I'm budgeting $20. Natural gas, it has dipped down to just like regular, but still inflated levels. I think our last bill was like $130 something or like $180 something, somewhere in there. But I'm still budgeting well above what we need because I just don't trust the natural gas yet. But the summertime is coming. It is heating up. So I guess I'll probably budget like normal levels once like summertime actually hits us here in Southern California, because it's still kind of cold. Like this past week has been like super cloudy. And I think it was like in the low 70s all last week. So summertime isn't quite here. And I'm not mad about it because summer can take its sweet summertime. Life insurance for my hubby is still $69.96. Life insurance for me is $57.64. Vivint is $57.14. Farmers, which is our car insurance, is $308.16. Frontier is $75.86. And Verizon is $159.12 because my husband did turn in his phone and he got a new one and all that good stuff. So our bill actually dropped down because his was on like a trade-in finance plan. You guys know to deal with those type of things. So he paid off his old phone, bought his new phone outright, and that did drop down our monthly bill. So that's why it lowered from like 184 or something like that. So for monthly expenses, the total is $3,105.85, which brings our remaining income down to $2,769.15. So moving on to cash envelopes, we're still putting $500 towards gas, $500 towards groceries, $300 towards Costco, and $150 towards caffeine. I am trying to lower this budget and get my Starbucks intake down, because we did recently purchase a what do you call the things? It's for cold brew coffee and a French press. That's the word I'm looking for. We did purchase a French press for me to try out, because I'm trying to get it so that I can make a cold brew for work, because I usually only drink one Starbucks cold brew a day, like during the week for work. And I'm thinking that I have Starbucks K cups, so I could just try out like making coffee at home via a French press, and will it give me like the strength of coffee that I need? So the Keurig coffee is not strong enough for me to like keep me awake and just alert during the week, so especially at work. So I'm gonna keep this 150 for now, but I'm hoping to reduce that soon to maybe, what is it, like $45, so I can still buy my Red Bulls, which I drink during the weekends for the most part, or as a pick-me-up at work, things like that. So it's not going to go completely away, but we are trying to reduce this, especially with hubby starting school in July. So we want to make sure that we have like all the coffee that we need in order to get done what we need to get done. So the cash envelopes is $1,450, and then that brings our remaining income down to $1,319.15. So for debt, we are paying off our car loan still, so $256.29 for that. That brings our remaining income down to $1,062.86. So now moving on to the sinking funds, we're only budgeting for diapers and wipes this month, which brings our remaining income down to $962.86. Okay, so moving on over to our planned expenses. So like I said, quite a few. I did roll over the sinking funds amount over to this top line so I can make sure that the math was mathing. So for the month of June, we are setting aside a little bit of money for my father-in-law, just so hubby can buy him a gift, because I did put together a little something for our mothers last minute. And it was just like a sugar scrub with a pumice stone and then some foot cream. So put that all together in like a nice little gift for Mother's Day. So I want my husband to do the same for his father, so I want to make sure that he is recognized on Father's Day as well. So for, like I said, my hubby is graduating his undergrad, and then after he walks across the stage, yay, we're gonna go to dinner afterwards to a restaurant of his choosing. So we're gonna treat the family, of course. So we are going to set aside $300 for the dinner. I'm just guessing. I hope that's enough. It's not a lot of us that's going to be going. So yeah, I think that'll be okay for a couple of adults. And then we did get our escrow analysis. So if you are not familiar, if you own a home and you have your insurance and your property taxes included in your mortgage, the mortgage company is supposed to set that money aside in an escrow account so that when your property taxes come due, they pay the property tax bill so that you don't have to worry about it, as well as your insurance, if that is something that you also pay out of your escrow account. So every year they send you like an analysis of like, hey, we think your escrow account is going to have enough money in the account in order to pay these bills. Typically you'll be over or under. So if you're over the amount that you need, they'll issue a refund check. If you're under the amount that they think you'll need, then they'll send you like basically a bill. So they'll say like, hey, your escrow account has a shortage because you're not going to have enough money in the account for us to pay the insurance and the property tax bill. So either send us this amount of money in order to pay the bill, or we can tack it onto your mortgage and you can pay it over the 12 months. So it's basically like a payment plan that is included in your current mortgage. So we always like to pay the difference if our account is ever short. And this year they sent us a letter saying that we're short by $129.81. And that they would spread it across the 12 months. But like somehow, some way, I still don't really understand it. Like, even though our escrow account is short, our mortgage payment is still going to come down. So I made a note of it. So our mortgage payment is currently $1,965.97. So if if we don't pay the shortage, our new mortgage starting in July is going to be $1,928.64. But if we do pay the shortage of $129.81, our new mortgage is going to be $1,917.82. So talk to hubby. He'd rather just pay it and then have the lowest mortgage we can. So that is why I'm budgeting for that payment here. So go ahead and pay that $129.81 to have our mortgage be basically what, $40 lower. Full disclosure, we are looking to get rid of our escrow account so that we pay, like we set the money aside ourselves, and that just get rid of it, because we don't really like the escrow analysis like process, because until we get that letter every year, we don't know if we're going to be over or under. So that's kind of annoying, and I'd rather set the money aside ourselves and then we pay it and we pay the property taxes, and not deal with, a letter every year telling us whether we owe or get a refund and stuff like that. So but that's just our personal preference. And then we're going to be having a road trip in July to go see my hubby's family out of state. So we are chipping into the rental car and gas and everything. So I'm setting aside the remainder of our income from this month, and I'm going to put it in, set it aside for this road trip. So I'm setting aside $398.07 for the road trip. And then I'm going to be setting aside more in July so that we can contribute to, the expenses because we're taking the whole family, all the kids, hubby and I taking off work, everything like that. So, and then I'm setting aside the usual $119.98 towards my business. With all of that said, the planned expenses for the month of June is $962.86. So if I take that from the remaining income that we have for the month, we have a zero amount remaining, which is what we want. We do a zero-based budget. So, of course, got to make sure the math is mathing with our budget summary. So our income was $6,000, savings is $125. Monthly expenses is $3,105.85. Cash envelopes is $1,450. Debt is $256.29. Sinking funds is $100. Planned expenses is $962.86. So if you subtract all of these expenses from the $6,000 income, then our budget will be zero, which is what we want. So right here is where I'll just keep track of all the money that I'm spending for the business. And if I need to break down any mixed expenses, such as like Costco, where I'm buying food and house supplies and this and that, or if I go to Target or Walmart and I'm buying food and like house supplies, toiletries, all that kind of stuff, I can break down and categorize the expenses right here on the transaction log and be okay. So that is what that is. And then on the next page, it is just the month end review. And then I have a notes page right here. All right. So typically what you do next in the drill down budget planner is you go ahead and split up these monthly expenses into either paycheck 1, paycheck 2, and paycheck 3. And then you write on your expense tracker, like everything in column 1 goes on expense tracker number 1. Everything in column 2 goes in expense tracker number 2. That way you can keep up with your budget throughout the month. But since we are 1 month ahead, I don't necessarily need to do that because I transfer all of the money at the beginning of the month, and then I just use it as we need it. But I do need to make a note that for groceries, we're still splitting it into our different cubes because I use cube money in order to keep track of our expenses and our budget throughout the month. I do need to make a note that we are splitting the grocery funds of $500 into $250 a piece. Actually, you know what? I have made a mental note because I did notice that we just be killing food budget number 1. So I'm going to go ahead and do $300 for the first half of the month, the 1st through the 15th for food. And then I'm going to put the remaining $200 into the second half of the month, the 16th through the last day of the month, and see if that will help, because we're always having to pull money from food too in order to have enough money for the first half of the month, but then our food to budget ends up going negative as well. So we're going to try that out for the month of June and see how it goes. But that's it for the June budget. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button to let me know that you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.